Monday morning in the Lion Foundry, Kirkintilloch. Another week of heat and noise began when the furnace was lit before dawn. George Donnelly once had a nice, clean, quiet job in a butcher's shop, but it meant he couldn't play football on Saturdays.
It's 4 years. Eventually everybody in Kirky goes to the foundry and tries. 2 or 3 jobs gone. I was 16-year-old. So I get in as an apprentice, dresser. I think there's 3 days stood in the shop. One of them's doing the foundry now. And that's how I started in the foundry at 16. I think my first wages was £7. That's what I was getting in the butcher shop. But the next week, right on the bonus, and it shot up to about £12. That was brilliant,
The foundry has plenty of work just now, and the money is still good. For this hard and dirty work, it would have to be. And it's a dangerous place. Almost everybody who works with the hot metal has burns to prove it. Some youngsters who start work here don't stick it for long, although plenty of sons follow their fathers into the foundry. But in the past, Tommy McMillan had other ideas for his son.
All right. I liked it. I wouldn't have went to nothing else. It was born and bred into me to be a moulder, you see. But when I came up and I got my first kiddie and he started to grow up, and I says to Peg, it's a wife, I says, no way will ever he go in that foundry. He's not going to go through the same as what I've went through. All right, I've had a good living off it. I've worked in a good foundry. So but he's definitely not going to go into a foundry. No way will he do the same as I've done.
Older foundrymen often have bad backs. Now mechanical muscle is taking over in one area after another. Some castings are still made by hand. Sand is packed into the 2 sections of a mould, which are joined and set aside to wait for molten metal from the furnace. Making the moulds takes most of the time.
The dirt does get ingrained. It seems to cling to you. No matter how hard you scrub and that, it still seems to cling to you. But what you'll always notice is, see a boy, it's his work in the foundry, or does work in the foundry. When he's going out, he's always spotless and immaculate dressed. You could actually, if you were sitting somewhere and seen a group of guys, you could pick them out. Because they must scrub that hard and look that different, you know. It's a fact, you can pick them out. Like somebody will go there, a policeman. You can go there, a boy that works in a foundry. With with a pure, clean shirt, a lot.
The modern way is to blast a high-pressure jet of sand into the moulds where it sets rock hard. In the past, moulding shops were quiet places with a lot of banter. Now the moulders work on their machine. Still a small team working with each other efficiently, even mechanically. But each man is isolated from his mates by the all-pervading cloud of noise.
It's not a normal factory. They don't hammer you for silly things like, you know. I don't see anybody taking advantage of it. I mean, the latest thing all over the country is come in when you want as long as you work your hours. The foundry said that for 100 years. As long as you do your work, they're quite happy. And none of this, where you've been late 3 times or sacking you. You've been cheeky to a gaffer, you swore at a gaffer. Been working aside and they know each other. So he's likely to be the first to swear at you.
Oh, you've done this tractor pen, eh? Oh, look at that. Wait a minute. You want the hammer or the money?
Right, we start counting it here.
This Tuesday is a special evening in the pub. Money put into the bottle by customers is counted by the staff of a day centre for handicapped children. It's a Christmas present for many customers, but inside the foundry, the centre has become a special charity. Week in, week out, tickets for some prize draw or other are touted round the place by Hughie Carr, whose grandson attends the centre.
And you sure that'll get the range a good Christmas, aye?
Oh, that'll ensure that they've got a wonderful Christmas.
That's the main thing, you know.
Oh, it's really magnificent. Thank you, Elsie. Oh, this is, I feel like Mrs. Moneybags.
15, 20, 25, 30, 35, 40, 45, 50, 55, 60, 65, 70, 75, 80, 85, 90, 95, 100, 105, 110, 115.
And 17.
115. And 17.
As £132. And what about the coppers?
50. £132.50.
£50.
Is that in the boat, £132.50?
£132.50.
Donkey is good.
Now, £10. Is that marvellous? Marvellous.
So we like it.
20.
Oh, it's a 20. Oh, £20. Oh,
I knew you couldn't.
He hasn't seen one of them before.
What I'm going to say is, I'd like to thank Mr. Dokes, Ian, the bar and staff for their good work. Without them it would have been impossible. I'd also like to thank my fellow workers in the Lion Foundry. They've done a great job. So I think in 5 weeks, if anybody in Kirkintilloch or district willing to have a go, I'm sure we'll beat it next year. And thanks very much. And I've much pleasure in the bar branch. Right, when I roll going, me when you're laughing, eh? Me when you're laughing, and you're going to get tickled, eh? I tickle you, did I tickle you? Eh? Bye, Annie. Give me a kiss. That's clever, isn't it?
Hand casting is still a craft. The moulder still puts his initials on each casting. The men spend the morning filling the moulds with sand. Then it's their turn for molten metal from the furnace. It's poured in at several points in the mould simultaneously, so that it reaches all the parts while it's still molten. It's a strenuous and careful operation, but it must be done quickly, for molten metal will not wait. After the pouring, the boxes are opened and allowed to cool slowly. The moulding team have finished their day's work by lunchtime, and the rest of Wednesday is just beginning.
You don't get many boys leaving the foundry. If you know what I mean. Once you're in and used to conditions, and they're quite happy with it. They maybe know like it, but it's better than 9/10 jobs, if you know what I mean. If you can put the conditions to the back of your mind, the health reasons, it is a good job, and they're good guys to work with. I mean, in our foundry, there's boys been there 40 years, 30 years, 20 years, which says no bad for a work.
Before they go home this afternoon, the men will have washed off the dust of the foundry and changed into clean clothes. Most of them say that their families have little idea of the conditions they work in, and agree that their wives might not like it if they did know. The traditional world of the moulder is being replaced. Not only has machinery been brought in to do many of the jobs once done by hand, but legislation on working conditions is having its effect. New premises and new equipment are expensive. In recent years, they've been beyond the resources of many small foundries, which have had to close. At the Lion, which was taken into a large industrial group, change is continuous. Conditions in the foundry are still not great, and there's a strong incentive to get the work done as quickly as possible and get out of the place.
You try to keep the foundry as far away for your own life. You know, once you leave it, that's it. You want to forget the foundry, you want to relax. You start worrying about it when you clock back in. That's the only thing. I mean, if you go out drinking and somebody brings up work, you know, they're told, oh, give us a break. You know, we want peace, we've had enough of it.
I sit and listen to the television news. Not saying it's ITV or BBC, but one of the two. And my daughter's sitting at 16 years of age sitting next to me, and the reporter comes on and gives a report of the Germany top case. And I never felt as embarrassed in my life as sitting listening to that report in front of a young girl.
I think I know the one you're talking about.
Aye.
Had a tin of certain stuff and all this carry on. That was out of order, that.
Where's this money coming from? Is this money coming out of the government?
Your money.
It's £100,000. Is you saying it's a trial before a trial?
Yeah, it's a trial before a trial. You think about it.
I mean, is this... Does this work in Scottish law and all, or is it just English law?
It's English law.
Scottish law, you get locked up. To trial. It's something like that, though. You either get locked up and wait your time till you come up to court. Or you plead not guilty then. Any member of the jury knows you get let out.
Exactly. But I mean, I'll tell you.
It wasn't made for Jeremy Thorne. It was made for Billy Stevenson.
Well, he's not... I suppose not like that,
Who would publicise Billy Stevenson?
Apart from the canteen board.
You wouldn't hear nothing about Billy Stevenson. That boy's a figure. Right? That's the only reason. It might be a good law.
I don't think so, John. No.
Well, it might be, David, because you... Okay, so they say Billy's got enough evidence to put Billy up to court.
Well,
but you and me wouldn't hear about it.
If any else is speaking to the jury now...
It wouldn't go on as long, but...
But it's still got the same chance.
It wouldn't that long and that long.
But it's still got the chance of going to court.
See, the Scottish law's years ahead English law. It's better. No, it's better.
Years ahead. I'll joking.
An English law.
Front of it.
An English law. An English law, I wouldn't like to have... I wouldn't like to be his because I'm prejudged before I go to court.
The drawings and the photographs have come in this morning for the new K-type letterbox. There's some quite nice photographs from the post office. This is the model that they've made up. Now we've got to get them. We've got 12 weeks to make the patterns and get into production. So can you see any major faults or problems that may arise from it?
What is your pattern material?
Wood, mahogany.
The normal wooden mahogany pattern?
Mahogany patterns, yeah.
And it'll be getting made in Furin, I take it?
Yes, made in Furin.
Furin,
The cores, it'll be pep set for the body and Furin for the cores. Yeah.
Well, the body's in excellent shape for moulding anyway, because it's all a half circle, and moulding has always got to be taken into consideration where there's any like sort of slots and things like that on the inside for working.
Yeah.
But in the outside of the body, there's nothing at all that is going to give us any loose pieces at all. The whole body will work as a complete top part and a drag.
Yeah, so we'll make the
two
body.
halves.
We'll make the body all in one casting.
Yes.
You don't see any problem with this small part?
There is a wee bit at the top there which is actually going round in a circle, which is the shape that you can see in, in that drawing at the top of the door. It's more or less that shape there. So that will probably give us a wee bit of a problem, but I think we can overcome it all right.
See it, George?
You can see it on that drawing more.
That's a bad undercut. We'll also have to make two doors, one for England and one for Scotland, because of the two crowns.
Yes, the Scottish crown is a different shape altogether, and that'll be another pattern we'll have to be made for that.
Yeah, they'll supply another one of these with the Scottish crown on it.
But that'll be the finish complete thing there. That is a plastic. That is a plastic model that was set up in the streets in London for to be photographed, and a man actually came and posted a letter in it. So it must have shown it was a fairly good model. Yeah. And right away, as I say, it was to me anyway, as a foundryman, it was an ideal thing for us to be making. There was no problems like we had with the old type letterboxes where you had a dome on it that had grooves all round about it that just wasn't made for moulding at all. Moulding was never taken into consideration with the design of it. Somebody wanted a fancy Victoriana shaped thing, and they went for that. This architect here has actually streamlined this. Okay, it might not be everybody's taste, but this gent certainly posted a letter in it, and it looks like a letterbox.
A counterweight for the back of a forklift truck is broken out of its mould and left to cool.
The noise is terrific, like, so by the time you put your gear on, you can't hear MD. I mean, you're speaking to MD, they can't hear you. You're actually just working away on the job. You know, you think to yourself, quicker I get this done, quicker I can get out of here. Or you could be singing to yourself, you could be singing at the top of your voice, you might be rotting, knowing that nobody can hear you. You actually are in a wee world of your own until you finish. And if you've ever heard a department finishing, it's just a big roar. You know, there was gear roar for finish, we're kind of free. I'm not, maybe no free for the foundry itself, but for the fact that you can't talk.
I've seen when you couldn't even see that wall for the stour and everything blowing. You couldn't even see the wall. And you were walking through that. So what like can your health be when you've been at your old days in it? Nowadays, I say, they've got their masts, they've got their district tactics, they've got a good chance now. But when I come in here, no.
You know, I think it's deliberate with everybody. You want to get in there, do your work, out, forget about it. Unless, like, well, even when you've something on a social night, like say your dominoes, you still don't discuss the foundry. The only time you'll discuss it, I'll not be getting watched in the morning because you've had too much to drink. That's about the only time.
It's very unusual for me to get beat Billy, so you're only doing my job.
What was your score myself?
3-2.
What way?
What was your score last week?
We can 40 Danny McLaughlin.
For a laugh. You better get your glasses on. Right, here's 20 pence out. Date for money for engines. You want a double blank, a double one?
Oh, Billy.
No, much away.
Oh, sir. But you're asking what that for 5 minutes.
Aye.
I mean, Billy, well, you get half, I'm on, you take my place.
Stick in that table.
I don't care if you're £100 that table, but I'll get the committee and they'll throw you out. Gambling.
Much of the social life is an extension of the male world of the foundry. Wives don't go with their men to the Thursday domino match with the local bowling club. The same goes for their other pursuits, whether it's darts, fishing, or just plain drinking.
I don't think you'll find many will take a drink, you know, maybe one or two will take a pint with a piece. I think they'll call it quits at a pint because you know themselves, in there if you're taking drink, it could be very, very dangerous with the machinery we're handling. But outside and after hours, there is some very powerful drinkers in the foundry. Yeah, there definitely is. I don't know whether it's anything to do with their work. Been, you know, that Thursday 9/10 of their day or no, but yeah, there is some very heavy drinkers. I don't mean alcoholics, I just mean they like their drink.
You're only telling. Why? Sorry about the. Why? You're sorry about the granny wallet.
That's down.
New will only be. See why?
You think so?
I mean, you people alone.
I don't think so, John.
Here we go.
I don't think so.
Who's right?
Hey, that's the first time I've been out this year. Good morning. One against the down. It's against the down, Donald down.
I won my down. Take down. Who won the down?
No cheat at all.
This has always been our foundry. I mean, we take it as our sort of home. They were still good enough to come and say, well, look, Tom, Mr. McFarlane actually was. He says, I know you think you're finished. He says, but if I was to offer you a job where you could take it nice and easy, what would the doctor say? I said, well, I can only go back and see him. So I went back up to the doctor. I told him that he'd offered me a job in here in the Bass, which was no heavy lifting, no worries, no nothing. He says, fine. He says, you go down and take it. So, as I say, that's where I've been for the last year and a half now, in here. And I can assure it's a tremendous difference when you're waking up in the morning. The difference between waking up to come down to hard, really hard graft that you know's killing you. You've not got the stamina left for it. And waking up in the morning to come down here, it's a difference of night and day. There's no comparison to it. I used to dread getting up in the morning eventually. I was dreading every morning I came down.
The baths seem like something everyone takes for granted now, but they're a post-war innovation. Plenty of people can remember going home with the dirt of the foundry still on them.
This is new. This is new. I mean, we used to go home black, sweating black. You just went in and you sat down in that chair and you just fell asleep. Because you're that damn tired, being out for 5 in the morning up that day. You just went to sleep. Your mother would shout, now don't go to sleep before you get washed. Go better get washed first. Ah, yes, right. You were off. And she just said, well, to hell, it just let you sleep till you woke up and you went and get washed. I used to say to Peggy, I says, you know, Peggy, I used to never bore about year in, year out working in a foundry. I says, now I'm counting my days, not in years, not in months, and not even in weeks. So I'm counting every day I go in there. And at the latter end, I was beginning to do a thing that no Macmillan had ever done in their life. I was coming down, and if my partner wasn't in, I headed back home again. A thing we'd never done in our life. We'd have went down there and worked ourselves. And that was the situation. It was just getting to where it was just going over the top. And every wee day that I could go back up to the house without working was magic.
That's quite good, that.
Very good, Bill. Very good.
Did you try the screws?
The screws are home. Yes, been tried. Fittings have been tried.
A post office inspector checks the workmanship on telephone kiosks. The Lion Foundry has that contract, as well as the one for the new style pillar boxes, which won't be in production until 1980.
How about the pad for the door closer? Is that drilled?
Been drilled, dressed.
Wee bit paint run there. Somebody missed that, didn't they?
The noise dies down, the fires are put out. It's Friday, pay time.
Not too bad. Seen worse.
The bad points is that it's health. That's really the only bad point a foundry has about it. I mean, as you say, we went on about the bad points. But you could start on the good points, which is the wages. I mean, I would say our wages in that foundry must be one of the highest paid in the west of Scotland, or anywhere. Against any foundry, I would say ours could match them. It's close overall in a foundry. They're loyal. And believe it or not, they're loyal to the company. More so the older workers. They're very loyal to the company. Like I said, 9 out of 10, my dad worked in it. or my uncle worked in it, or my grandpa worked in it, kind of thing. But the younger generation, it's money and nothing else but money, and a job, rather than being in the streets.
How much are you using into?
Fed up talking about work.
Oh, no, I'm talking about money, I'm not talking about work.
Can you say things like that?
You
Yes,
never get a
your
rise.
department.
I want 20% at least.
You have no chance, you're not worth it.
I don't talk about it.
What chance you got? I'm talking about for everybody.
Your rise.
Can I understand?
18%, there's probably 22%. Big Taylor stated it's more than 5% will do me. I'll not do me.
No do me.
No do me, I want about 20%.
How can you boss blast any of us here to take 5%?
That's what Taylor came away with this morning.
I'll give you an example.
5% I know.
Domestic problems, lads.
Is it costing you that
Right,
much?
now here's an example.
I shouldn't be here.
My wife's birthdays run next to each other. The light'll love a dumpling.
But you're clever, eh?
So does the boy.
Is it the same year?
Oh, it's a pill. Shut up. So I'll tell you how it's going to do with money.
Go for the ginger.
You buy stuff for a dumpling. The BBC obviously don't understand that.
Don't talk about spending this year.
Right. Last week it cost 30 pence for a packet of, I don't know where it was, currants or what the hell it was. This year it was 56. You work that out yourself, it's about 87% of a rise. And that wee one thing. I done it before I came here.
That was quick, I want at least 20% anyway.
That's one wee thing. And the rest is a miserable 5%? No way.
You bet dollars in it,
You bet dollars in it. Can't afford it in the wages we give us.
4 year ago, when we went into that mech plant, we were £40 more than everybody else in the moulding. £40 at the top, more than everybody else. Now they're all buyers. And yet we're going more boxes now than we went then.
Ah, well, whose fault's that, David?
And they're all buyers.
That's their own fault, aye.
No, we came to a union meeting along with everybody else. Along with yous and everybody else, and it's all supposed to be settled at union meetings.
A lot of rubbish, don't believe it.
How have all of them got our by us now?
What you're saying is, how did they all smash the 10%?
Aye.
That's what you're saying.
How have they all managed to do it and we can't?
Well,
and yet it's everything's supposed to be done with a
Quite
union.
easy,
through a
David.
union.
I'll tell you how's it. United they stand. The more they get together, aye, the bigger the group, the better the...
They're getting paid through the back door.
Of course they are.
We need to get more brass.
Yeah, the Foundry say they can't do it. They can't put it in paper. No, I mean it's simply they can't put it in paper or they would be going against the rules of the government, wouldn't they?
I'll tell you why I want 20%, by the way.
Everything goes in paper.
George, I'll tell you how I want 20%.
No, they can be putting it.
You know how the government put sanctions on it? Well, I get bombed out, so they can't put sanctions to stop the GPO working in there.
I'll tell you what, I hate, I think it's getting
By
more
law
like
now
a
they can't put
communist state.
sanctions on.
It's getting more like a communist state than anything.
Now, a year later, the £1.5 million improvement scheme has been completed. Some of the foundry's older buildings have gone, and with them, some of the poorer working conditions. The quality of daily life in the foundry has gone up.
I wouldn't condemn a boy coming in now because things are cleaner. They've got a better chance of getting a good job. They've got a better chance of making money. Whereas we got it for, as I say, your sweat. That's the only way you got it.
I can see myself later. Either a hit shot's done or I retire. I'm only another 9 years and I get a gold watch.